Good morning, and welcome to a new series. I'm in the first arrondissement of Paris, but I'm not going to be focusing on just the first. I'm currently walking down Rue Saint-Honoré, which is today possibly going to be our boundary as far south as we can go, because today I'm starting the 80 and 8, which is a new series I'm going to be doing 2 weeks out of the month, every month for 8 months until I hit every quarter in Paris, which that part shouldn't come as a surprise. Do I have this, Space Invader? Boom, diggity. All right, so basically what is the 80 and 8? The 80 and 8 is kind of my take on the 20 and 20. What was the 20 and 20? 2020's video series I've already done, where I made a video every day in each arrondissement for 20 days. There are 20 arrondissements in Paris. There are 20 major neighborhoods. They are divided into 4 quarters, however. Quarters aren't a way that we talk about, anything in Paris. Nobody knows most of the names of the quarters, and a lot of people that live here don't even know that the arrondissements are broken up into quarters, but they are, even just as part of the French census. And today we're in the least populated arrondissement of Paris, the first, doing the first quarter that I felt like doing today, which is Vendôme, named after the famous Place Vendôme, which is where we're headed right now. The idea for the 80 and 8 came from a viewer from Hong Kong. I met him briefly on a bike ride, and I'm sorry that I forget your name. Feel free to leave it in the comments below because I would give you credit. But inspired by the 20 and 20, he thought he would break things down even more and try to hit all 80 quarters here in Paris. And I thought that's a phenomenal idea. I loved exploring the city, one arrondissement at a time. I wanted to do it in a little bit slower fashion. And instead of focusing on sharing things that I already know, which I'll still do, I'm looking forward to exploring a little bit and just seeing the city on a deeper level and getting to know it a little bit better with you. So we're gonna see 80 quarters in 8 months. It'll be a fairly nice, slow stroll through each, and we'll learn some things together. The population of this area is, I think, about 3,000 people, so it's not that big. So let's go explore Vendôme, the first quarter of our exploration in the first arrondissement of Paris. It makes sense to start with the namesake of this area, Place Vendôme, which is famous and has a really long history. It's right near the Louvre. It's right in the heart of Paris. This place was originally laid out like this by Louis XIV to commemorate his victories. And there's a whole funny history that goes along with that. But then Napoleon came along and was like, nah, I'm gonna knock your horse down. And instead I'm gonna make this massive column. The column in the middle was originally made from the melted down cannons of his vanquished enemies. And at one point he was torn off the top. And I believe the original statue of him from the top was melted down to make the statue of Henry IV that's over on the bridge at Pont Neuf, which is another area that we'll get to one of these days. But this area is pretty famous now as being like a high-class shopping area. And behind me, you'll see the Ritz. I made the mistake of asking them if I could come and just film their lobby or something, and they said no. So we won't be going inside there today, but this area has a lot of brands that you'll know, including Chanel. Coco Chanel lived at the Ritz during the occupation of Paris. That is a dicey story as well that you should, if you didn't know, Coco Chanel, Nazi sympathizer. Yikes. Just throwing that out there. Place Vendôme is really nice and quiet, a chill space. Nothing green here, except at Christmas they put up a ton of Christmas trees. It is the place to be if you're ritzy, let's just put it that way. The reason they tore Napoleon down was because, kings of France came back briefly, they took him down, and then after that, they put him back up. French history and the rise and fall of empires, kingdoms, and republics is fairly complicated. We're on our 5th republic here in France right now, so yeah, this isn't the type of video to get too deep into history, but it's a really nice place. Now, the southernmost border of this quarter is Rue de Rivoli. And once you cross that, you're in the Tuileries Gardens and you're up against the Louvre. The problem is that the Tour de France is apparently finishing today. I'm so out of touch with how the delayed race has gone. So my original plan was to actually kind of just walk around the bordering streets, see what the outside of it looks. But because that's blocked off and because I can't go any farther down, Rue Saint-Honoré are gonna be our southern border for today, which is unfortunate, but we're gonna run into lots of problems over the course of the next 8 months, so we might as well get used to it now. So I'm gonna walk out the south of Place Vendôme and I'm gonna hook a right on Rue Saint-Honoré, and then I'm gonna basically connect as best I can with the border streets of the neighborhood, which I will put on the screen because they change names randomly and there's more of them than I can confidently say out loud from memory right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then we'll just kind of zig and zag our way in. My friend Catalina might join me for a little bit. She said she wanted to explore a bit. Yeah, we'll just see what we find. So let's just go for a stroll through Paris. I was literally just gonna text you to say you've almost found me.
Yeah.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good. So it's a little camera. There you go. Somebody left the Christmas decorations out a little bit late. This is cool. So this is an example. I don't know what this dome is.
It is Église Notre-Dame de la Assomption.
L'Assomption. And this is what I'm excited about. Like, I want to explore the city again because there's so many places that I've never been, but I obviously don't know where they all are. That was really great. I wanted to go inside, but we weren't really going to be allowed to. We're going to go back around. So we'll go, if we go down here, then we can come around and you'll see, do you know what that building is down there? The green roof and the tall columns. Yeah. We ended up not going inside because they were, I don't know if they were waiting for this mass to start. It was very quiet. A lot of people sitting around, I mean, so we'll go in and fully explore that place next time, but it looked really nice. Lots of art. This is our boundary though. You know how we can tell? Because at the top of the sign it says 8th Arrondissement. Yeah. So you know that about the street signs? Yeah. So we're only in the 1st Arrondissement today, which is this side of the street. So Rue Saint-Florentin is the border street that we're gonna go up that way. Although we could, there are no cops here, so we could walk down there and just see what we find.
Yeah, I think that is Place de la Concorde.
That's correct, Place de la Concorde. So Rue Saint-Florentin comes down, it doesn't go straight into Place de la Concorde, but it is aligned with the end of the Tuileries. So if you're ever curious, once you get to the end of the Tuileries, that's the end of the 1st Arrondissement. If you take a hard right, you're between the 1st and the 8th. We'll get to the 8th eventually, but not today. We have reached the end. There was nothing exciting. I mean, if you live over there, I'm sure you could get through, but we can't. So would I recommend taking a left on Rue Saint-Florentin if you can't go to Concorde? No, there wasn't anything to see. But up here, you'll see the new IKEA that I still have never been inside. So we'll go walk by the new IKEA and see. Felt like there was a rhyme there. And see ya. Oh, God. I don't think I have this one. Boom.
No?
Nope, I didn't have it. If nothing else, this has already been a success. See this zig and zag. So the 8th is still here. It's turned into Rue du Faux. So we're in the 1st, across the street is the 8th, including Madeleine. We'll come see Madeleine again someday in the future, I'm sure. But to me, it's so interesting to see like the zigging and the zagging up close. I want to get to know exactly where all of these arrondissements end. Even though this is a really cool metro sign, and I love the look of it, it's interesting how much smaller this one is than the ones in the 8th. Those are huge. The left-hand side of the street is turned into the 9th arrondissement now. Look at that, we've already seen 3 arrondissements and it's only been like 20 minutes. Our current border street is Boulevard de la Madeleine. All this border talk reminds me that over on Patreon, there's a map. If you want to follow along, you can become a patron at any level. And there's a map that I've made in both North American and European or international standard sizes. Print it out at home, color it in, make notes, whatever it is you want, and just kind of follow as we go. And yeah, hopefully, if you're a patron, thanks for being a patron, you're enjoying watching us stumble along. Also, I don't have a randomized patron producer of the day today because I didn't do the randomizations before coming out here. My bad. So since I have the ability to just go ahead and choose one, I'm going to choose my dad. Thanks, Dad. You've always been so supportive and I love you very much. And he's actually a patron of mine, which is kind of nuts. Thanks, Dad. I love you. Anyways, thanks to all my patrons as always. Go grab a map. And yeah, hopefully enjoy following along. I feel like the street name must have changed, but I wasn't paying attention. Here's the thing though, we've wandered out of the 1st arrondissement. We're actually out of bounds. We had to turn back there, so we gotta go that way. See anything you want? See anything you want?
Everything.
Everything. That's a really cool spot. You can personalize your own jewelry if you want to, and they kind of walk through. It's a jewelry bar, as it were. Super cool. Merci.
Merci.
Bonne journée. Sauf si j'ai perdu la... Ah, peut-être elle est toujours dedans. J'ai pensé qu'elle est sortie. Lost her. Back in we go. Aha. C'est cool. You gotta get the mask-free version so you know what it actually looks like. I never thought about that. That's a complication when you're shopping. Like knowing what you look like. I mean, I'm not a necklace shopping expert or anything, but happy with your purchase? Yeah. So, Louis-et-tout. I made sure to ask how to pronounce the name because it is kind of funkily spelled. Ladies, if you're wandering around in Paris and you want to get a little bijou, this is their only store location in the entire world, you were saying?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, it's fact now. Oh, bonbons? Sure, I'll take a box. I was like, what did you? I think we're technically just outside of our boundary, but we'll pretend that never happened, and it'll be fun. I'm gonna try and include friends in my wanders as I go, just for that reason, because I never would have gone into a bijou bar on my own, so. Gracias.
De nada.
Yep, we were on Rue Volney in the second, but don't worry, the first is right there on the original street that I thought we were on, Rue des Capucines. And this is in my video, my very first video in the 20 and 20. Eric Kaiser is a chain of, it's like a bakery chain, but it is good. So if you need a bakery and you don't know which one to trust, and that one of these is in the neighborhood, they're solid. So now that I've walked the boundaries of Place Vendôme, we'll get to the street. Shoot, see, I'm gonna remember all this stuff later. Place, is it Rue de la Hoche? Something like that. We'll have done all the boundary streets, and then there's not a lot of interior streets in this quarter. It's a really small quarter. But when we get into the second, there are a whole bunch of covered galleries, and we're definitely gonna get into some of those. And we might, if we're lucky, do a few of those tomorrow. So looking forward to that. But enough previewing tomorrow. Check out all of these different fun stores. Oh, lost her for a second there. And this guy, this is Marché. I think this is Marché Saint-Honoré. Let's go look. It's like a really big, modern, strangely modern building right in the first Arrondissement. And there's some dancing guys over here too. This is the place that I first saw rollerblading cops in Paris. Yeah.
Ah, that's so great. I love them.
Yeah, Marché Saint-Honoré. Look at these guys dancing. But the thing is, you'll see around the outside, you have tons of restaurants and little cafes and stuff. You want to grab a coffee here?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get you a coffee. You pick. Ladies' choice. Okay, we don't trust the coffee situation so much. So she really wants to go to Cafe Kitsune. So we've already broken the rule once, we're gonna break it twice. We're gonna leave the quarter really quickly, go to the next door quarter, which is Palais Royal. Kitsune is in Palais Royal. Theoretically, that location is open right now. We'll grab that, and then we'll come back into the quarter. This has been great though, I'm really enjoying exploring. Anyways, that was Place Marché Saint-Honoré. Actually, okay, let's just do one lap. And then this covering here, I don't remember which day of the week it is, but this covering then doubles as an outdoor market, so you can buy produce, all kinds of tasty stuff. Forgot there's a Wild on the Moon here too. That is one that I've recommended before, not this location specifically, but Wild on the Moon is kind of spreading everywhere. And they do really like healthy snacks and smoothies, organic, tasty, super healthy snacks. It's not a bad place to do it. It is definitely a little bit pricey for what it is, but it's like all really nice organic stuff made in-house. Okay, a couple points of clarification. One, it's a juice bar, not a smoothie bar. And two, everything's vegan. So we're gonna get some house-made almond milk lattes. We were gonna leave and cheat and go next door, but thankfully we found Wild on the Moon. Hopefully the coffee's delicious, I'm sure it's great. I haven't had an almond milk latte in a really long time. It is weird, yeah, I was waiting for it. But if you're a regular drinker of almond milk lattes, I'm sure you'll love them. We're, well, I can tell by your face that you're not a huge fan. No. I'm gonna get used to it. I give it a third of it before I get really used to it, and I'll be fine. Well, in the end, did you get used to the almond milk?
No.
No? I thought you got okay with it, no?
No.
Okay, it would not have been my preference, but again, I'm sure it was lovely if you're an almond milk fan. And yeah, about after a third, I was like, yeah, it's good. We only have like 2 more streets to walk down, so let's go explore just a little bit more. Rue de la Sourdière. So Rue de la Sourdière is our last one that's completely within the quarter. And if we go down here to Saint Honoré and then we take a left, we're gonna hit Rue de Saint-Roch. The next level for me, like I wanna go from, I know all the arrondissements, I wanna get to know all the quarters, and then I wanna get to the level where I know every street. That, I don't know if that's ever gonna be possible, but that's what I would really like. It's so interesting to me because I know how close we are to certain things that I am very familiar with. I'm not as familiar with this area of this quarter. It's gonna be kind of a cool experience, but a little bit disconcerting in the way that like, there are only so many things, like only a few things that I really know here, so I can't make recommendations, which is what I'm after. I want to explore, but it's definitely gonna be this is gonna be a different experience. This church, next door. So this is the border, Rue Saint-Roch. We can walk up here, and this is the easternmost border of Vendôme, the quarter that we started in the first arrondissement. Then we're gonna walk up this way, check it out, but only on this side of the street. And then we'll come back here sometime in the future. I'm not gonna do the first arrondissement tomorrow, I'm gonna move on, but we'll be back in the first arrondissement here soon enough. It's been really nice though, getting out, exploring a little bit more. It's been really slow, which is exactly what I wanted. Just to take my time and get to know the streets a little bit better and get to know Paris just one level deeper. I hope you've enjoyed this, but really the long-term goal for me is to give a window into Paris, at a little bit of just a nice walk through the city, a nice look at the city, especially for those of you who can't come back right now to come visit, because I know it's hard, and it's nice to have a little bit of time to just kind of stroll through the city and see all of it. So we're gonna go see tons and tons of Paris. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you wanna grab that map, jump on over to Patreon. It's there for you to download, and you can follow along as I go. Originally, I was wanting to do like a scratch off map kind of a thing, where you could scratch off the quarters as we went through them, or you could fill it in yourself when you come back. Maybe we'll do that in the future. But for now, you know, you can do whatever you want with that printable map. I'd love to see what your creative remapping skills are doing. But in the meantime, this has been the first arrondissement, and there's a Space Invader right behind me. I think I already have this one, but I'll have to make sure she gets it. See you bright and early tomorrow morning for a mystery place in the second arrondissement. And yeah, adios.
Say hi.
Hi. Hola. You get it? Yeah. Nice. Get the strawberry.